Hi everyone, this is Gabby. I'm going to talk today about a couple of products, the WiiM Pro and the WiiM Ultra. Now, I bought these from my own money, so no one sent them to me, no one asked me to do a review about them. I don't have to do a review. This is actually not even a review about them, but I'm just going to tell you about my story and why I bought them. I bought these two products because I wanted to use them into some of my projects. I want to take them apart and do some DIY, improve them and make them better, because the reason I like the WiiM product is that the software that comes with it, it's pretty amazing. You get connectivity for Cubase, Tidal Direct, Roon Ready, all these things, and you don't have to pay subscription. You just buy this product and you get that connectivity, and that's pretty amazing. I'm gonna show you as well later in the video, if you're into DIY, how you can take them apart, how you can, if you want to do some changes to them, what's inside them and stuff like that. And we've been doing quite a few projects on my Patreon channel where we talk about a few things, and we've made some huge progress. And if you're not familiar with that, I strongly encourage you to join us. But let's first focus on the subject here, which is the WiiM Pro and Ultra, the way they are without doing any changes to them. Let's start with the WiiM Pro. I like the WiiM Pro because it does not have a built-in switching power supply. You have to give it a power supply from the outside. Now, it does come with one switching little power supply, but you can definitely use your own, and that's what I did. I used basically linear pi by in Canada with my Gabster CRC Pro filter. If you're not familiar with these products, I'll put a link there. I did a review once about 10 different power supplies that you can use. Now, not every linear power supply is great, and not every switching power supply is bad, but in general, yes, that is the story. But so when I plugged the WiiM Pro, I was actually pleasantly surprised that it's actually a very good sounding streamer DAC on its own without doing any tinkering with it. And that was I was quite surprised, because I was not expecting much from a $150 product. So I know it is not at the quality of, if you want to use it for your expensive audio room and you spend thousands of dollars, this is probably not the product for you. But for the average person that just wants some good sound, easy to connect, and everything is there and it's cheap, this is a really decent product. So let's zoom in here and I'll show you a little bit. This is the WiiM Pro. So here you can see the WiiM Pro open, and the really exciting part is I was able to tap in and get the I2S signal from inside the WiiM. So you could see here I've got the BCK, LRCK, and also the data signals. Those three constitute the I2S signal, and so we've got them here, and I've got them also here on my oscilloscope. You could see all three of them on one snapshot. With the WiiM Pro, it's got an amazing software. It locks into everything. You can do Roon, the Tidal Connect. The software is very intuitive, and it's pretty good for that. What's not good about the WiiM Pro is you cannot connect it, for example, to a hard drive. It does not have, as far as I know, you don't have that connectivity. And not like the WiiM Ultra. It doesn't have a screen like the WiiM Ultra. Next, I plugged in the WiiM Ultra. The WiiM Ultra is, in a way, has a really nice screen in it, so it's kind of beautiful, something to look at. You can actually connect it to a hard drive if you like, so it's got some advantages that way. And you can actually, now the WiiM Ultra, you cannot use your own power supply. It has its own built-in switching power supply inside the box. And yes, you can change it, but you would have to open it up, and there's quite a bit involved into doing that. It's not a very easy thing to do. Also, as you will see later, we're going to open both the WiiM Pro and the WiiM Ultra and look inside, and you're going to see that the WiiM Ultra is a little bit harder to open compared to the WiiM Pro, for example. And so I plug it in and I listened to the WiiM Ultra. I had some higher expectation. Now, it did not sound better than the WiiM Pro. I was a bit disappointed in that part. Now, it sounded really good, actually, for, again, this is a little bit more expensive product, but still, it's still very affordable. And I like the sound. It was pretty good. I've listened quite a bit to it and it sounded pretty good. Now, if you compare the two with the WiiM Pro, because I think I was plugging it with my nice linear power supply, the WiiM Pro for me sounded slightly better than the WiiM Ultra with its own built-in power supply. And I'm not sure if it's a power supply thing or whether it's ESS9038 chip versus the Brown 5121 chip. I'm not sure, or maybe the different power output stage and all that stuff. But that's to my ears. Now, again, it sounded pretty good. And what's nice, like I said, about the WiiM Ultra is, again, it's an all-around box. You basically plug it in, it's ready to go. The software is just flawless. It's really, really, really sweet to work with. And you get that access to actually hooking up to your own drive. And if you have some local music that you can listen to, you still have all the Tidal connectivity, EcoBuzz, Roon Ready, and all that. And what's also really nice, so you can have, for example, the WiiM Ultra in one room, you could have the WiiM Pro in another room. You can basically combine them all on one zone, and we can play music throughout the whole house. Kind of something like, if you recall, some of the older Sonos products that are still actually sold till today, and something like that. It's becoming the norm now about those kind of devices. Now, if you don't care about connecting it to a hard drive, you don't care about having a screen, you want to save a little bit of money, I would probably go with the WiiM Pro, but you have to spend a bit more money on getting a nicer power supply for it. Or if you can still run it with its own built-in power supply that comes in the box, and it's still fairly decent as it is. Both products came a long way from the old DACs. Are they really to the level that we can get, for example, let's say from my Gabster TD1 DAC or some of the high-end DACs that you can buy? No, they're not there. They're close, but they're not there. So I would not use them in a super high-end basically stereo system. Most people, they just want something easy to use, something you can plug and play that doesn't require a lot of effort. And I was able to get these guys running in like literally seconds. And that, like, I can't say much more than about the software. It's really, really, really good. Now, the second part of the video is we're going to talk about what's inside these guys. And so I opened up the WiiM Pro, and the WiiM Pro doesn't have a lot in there, but it's for a little box. It's got two boards in there stacked on top of each other, and there's a cover, and there's a little piece of metal there. They add a little weight, so when you feel those products, you can actually feel that they have a little bit of substance to them. I wish instead of the weight, they would have made the enclosure like an aluminum enclosure rather than putting a weight inside. Then it'll be more a genuine weight, and it would actually act a little bit as shielding from the external EMI and other stray waves that's all around us. But again, it is what it is for that product. And inside, you'll see that it runs on the technology of a Link Play. I think it's a company that actually does this for them, and the software is pretty amazing. And they're very good at updating the software, by the way, as well. And I was basically, the reason I bought these, I wanted to get the I2S signal from the WiiM Pro and use it for my own DAC. So basically, instead of running things on the Raspberry Pi, wouldn't that be nice to have a WiiM product doing that part? And now you have all the software. You don't have to fuss around with Volumio, Rune, and all these subscriptions and pay money for basically not much in return. So you get all this there, and being able to get the I2S signal out and then make the I2S signal better, make it sound better, and all that stuff. Use some really excellent power supplies, and you can get some pretty decent, it'll still be probably better than a Raspberry Pi. I tried for days and days. It wasn't, not that it was bad or anything, it's just the way the technology is, they use some proprietary frequencies, and I think with the timing of the frequencies are all correct, but the timing is slightly off. I even designed some board to change a few things, and I managed to get sound from it. But at the end, when you start to change things and reprocess the signal, you're not gonna, we're trying to get at a very high level, and I wasn't able to get to that high level. So I kind of, at the end, let go of this, and I thought, okay, I'm gonna move on to the WiiM Ultra. And so I did. And the WiiM Ultra is very difficult to open, but not that difficult. And I was able to open it. You can basically, there's a few screws that you take all around. And there's a tricky part that no one shows on the web. Everybody's showing how to open it, but that part no one shows. No one shows it. Now for the last screw that's inside, those cutter pliers, grabbed onto the screw and turned. And after I loosened it, I can use a longer nose pliers, and I was able to turn it all the way. Once I released all the screws, I was able to lift the board up, and you kind of want to push it from the RCA connector. Just push on those. It's like a smooth friction in there, and you should see it come out. And after that, you'll be able to just wiggle it. This is when basically you're able to open it up and not mess up because there's a ribbon cable underneath and this thing, and you try not to take everything apart because some of those are very delicate and sometimes they could get easily damaged. Anyway, I did open, like I said, the WiiM Ultra. Again, one more time, they used the weight in there. And again, one more time, I wish they actually used the heavier metal enclosure. In this particular part, though, they did use an aluminum enclosure. So, and this for the WiiM Ultra, actually, I'll give them that. So they did pretty good. So I had the weight, I think, just for the product to feel a little bit heavier. Because if you take something that doesn't weigh much, most people will assume that there's nothing in it. Other products play with the part where they use like a thick case. But again, I think these are all tricks of the trades. But for us, I mean, it doesn't really matter. But having an aluminum enclosure on the WiiM Ultra was pretty good. And for those of you who want to know where the hell is the DAC chip, well, it's that pesky tiny little thing right here. It's an ESS 9038 Q2M. So what else do we have here? If we look on the side, you got the power supply right here. It's all contained in a self-contained block. There's some power filters at the beginning. So I also prefer if the power supply was outside the box, but it is inside. These are the op amps to get to the output levels. OPA 1612s, that's really good. So WiiM Ultra uses the Link Play module. Now the Ultra has, like I said, an ESS chip, and I was able to extract the I2S signal from it, and I was able to listen to this one time. It worked, and it worked on the low 44 kilohertz frequency, but not anything in the 48 or 98 or higher. But if you are interested in some of those stories and more, you can join my Patreon where we talk about that. I even show where all the I2S signals come from, exactly how you can get them out. And also we've had some new discoveries that's also on my Patreon channel, and that one is working like a charm, and the sound is pretty amazing. I'm not going to talk about it here, but it's easily, you can access it on my Patreon channel. So conclusion, I think these are excellent products. I think you'll be very happy if you get either or. If you're on a smaller budget, the WiiM Pro, you cannot go wrong, especially if you use a good linear power supply. Be careful, a lot of the linear power supplies you buy from AliExpress and here and there are not that great. Please watch my video where I talk about the 10 power supplies that I tested. At least you get some idea on which way to go. Also, be careful with your settings on. If you own any DAC of any product or any streamer, again, I cannot stress enough, stay away from anything like that has digital processing. Because in order to do EQ, like equalizers, and in order to adjust volume, in order to do this, you have to do those DSPs. And every time you do something, your sound degrades. If you are still listening to Spotify, please, I know they're just announcing now, finally, after I don't know how many years, that they're going to do basically high res. Okay, they're waking up a little bit too late. Most of us are already moved on, but at least they're trying. You know, we still don't know exactly how high res is it going to be and how long it's going to take. But if you are using it in its present form, the Spotify sounds pretty, compared to a Tidal file, or for us high-end audio files, there's a huge difference. Yeah, like it's a night and day. So please, if you're going to upgrade, start with that. You're going to definitely have a much better sound right there. I have been doing a few videos on my Patreon channel. You get access to some very important information that's happening right now, where we talk about how we can actually take some I2S signal from some really great products and make some really amazing sound by modifying and reclocking the I2S signal, using some extremely great power supplies and really great output stages, and come up with some really good sound. It's the first time I've been able to get some amazing sound using actually my Gabster TD1 DAC, using some great power supplies and some really clean I2S signal, and also getting an amazing UI, a great software, like I said, where you can access all these things. And actually it's for, I'm not sure about you, people who have actually, some of you that are actually using, for example, Roon and using Tidal Direct. I somewhat sometimes feel like for me, Tidal Direct was slightly better sounding than Roon. So I'm not sure. Please share in the description below if this is what you feel, if this is what are you hearing, what I'm hearing, or maybe the other way around. And let me know. This here, I'm going to put a link about 10 different power supplies that I tested. In here about my Gabster TD1 DAC, a little speaker if you'd like to subscribe, and my Patreon is in the description. I strongly suggest you join because some really great information happening right now. Take care, and I hope to see you again.